everybody, I'm Tim Ward and welcome back to Garden Sense. Well folks, today is May 6th and the emails that we've been getting from you folks over the last 2 weeks or so have been all over the place because depending on where you live, some of you are experiencing some unseasonably warm weather and some of you are experiencing some unseasonably cold weather. Some areas are getting a lot of rain and other areas are not getting much at all. So we've been really busy with all of those emails that you've been sending in and how to address your plants, how to address your lawn. It's been fun, but I know that all of us would really like to see the weather regulate itself a little bit, which would allow us to plan a little bit better for the month of May and what we're trying to do in our lawns and in our gardens. We've got 3 questions today that we want to address. So buckle up, everybody. Let's jump right in. The first question is from Joe. Tim, 2 weeks ago, I planted several small sections of grass. I scratched up the dead areas, put down some topsoil, and seeded Barenbrug with turf truss starter formula. I subsequently learned soil temperature should be above 50 degrees for germination. Night temperature has been in the 40s in the Boston area. When temperature gets above 50, should I leave the seed alone or put down more seed and scratch up topsoil and reseed? Okay, so this is a little tough to determine because you have to remember that the air temperature is not the same as the soil temperature. What's interesting is that if you've experienced some hot days, the soil temperature is probably going to be a little bit warmer than the air temperature when it drops overnight. And so dropping down into the 40s overnight isn't really that big of a deal. The ground temperature is probably still okay. But the fact is you didn't take the soil temperature, so we actually don't know whether it's above 50 degrees or not. Now, the seed can still germinate depending on just how cold it's been, how long it's been put down, how much water it's getting, things like that. And those are some variables that we just don't know yet. I will say this, that if it's 2 weeks in and you are still not seeing any type of growth, there's a chance that the seed did not survive. However, it can still be a little bit dormant. So I would give it another week or so and then check it. And then if nothing's coming up, I would then go ahead and plan on putting some down. But again, before you do, make sure that you take the temperature of the soil. It needs to be above 50 degrees. So once you hit that mark, a day or two where it dips below 50 isn't really going to impact it because, again, your soil temperature is going to be different than the air temperature. So obviously, reach back out in a week, let us know what you're seeing, and we'd be happy to provide you some additional information, some additional advice. But at this point, I would actually wait another 7 to 10 days, see how things kind of pan out before you go ahead and make your plan to reseed. The next question is from Jacqueline. Tim, what is the Kickstart dilution for houseplants and my seedling peppers and tomatoes? Okay, so for houseplants, it's really easy. What you want to do is when you get that Kickstart bottle, make sure that you add water to create that Kickstart concentrate. So go ahead, add water to the Kickstart bottle, shake it up really well, put the cap back on, obviously, and now you've got Kickstart concentrate. What you then want to do is take 1 ounce, which is about 2 tablespoons of that solution, and add it to a gallon of water. Again, shake up that gallon of water really well. And now that is what you want to use to feed your indoor plants. So you can go ahead and some people will take spoons, some people just kind of gently pour it over the plants depending on what they are. But that's the solution mixture that you're going to want to use on your indoor plants. And you can do that once a week for the duration of the season. Now, in terms of your seedlings that you planted, this is really going to be up to you. Now, they're brand new plants, so I would go ahead and use that same solution, and I would put it down at least once a week until those plants really start to mature. Remember, you can use Kickstart up to one time a week for the duration of those plants' lives, and they'll be just fine. It's an organic product, and any nutrition that Kickstart provides, if it's too much and the plant doesn't need it, the plant just won't use it. It's a very forgiving product. So go ahead and mix 1 ounce of that concentrated solution into a gallon of water. Use that to feed both your seedlings and your indoor house plants and watch as they thrive. The final question is from Frank. Tim, I used Image, 4 ounces to a gallon of water, sprayed the weeds in the lawn, and the grass looks burned on top. When I mow, do you know if the grass will come back and be okay, or what can I do to have the grass come back? So the good news is your grass is totally fine. This is a byproduct of the Image solution, and it's very, very common. It's all cosmetic as well. So you haven't injured your lawn at all. But if you actually read the back of the label of Image, it will tell you that you may see some damage to the grass. It's actually more of like a bleaching. Obviously, it's not bleach, but they'll start to get a little bit white. They'll start to turn a little bit brown. This is completely normal, and all you have to do is mow the grass, and then all that evidence is gone, and your grass is going to be totally fine, and it's going to come up as usual. So again, as you use Image over the course of this summer, or for any of you out there who want to give it a try, it's a great weed killer. It takes care of crabgrass and nutsedge and hundreds of broadleaf weeds. But depending on how much you put down, it can essentially stain your grass. And so it looks worse than it is. Go ahead and mow your lawn when it's ready, and your grass is going to be totally fine. All right, everybody, just a couple final thoughts before we wrap up this week's video podcast. Folks, this Sunday is Mother's Day weekend, and we know that there are a lot of mothers out there who are going to receive plants for Mother's Day. Well, if the plants that you're giving or receiving have the roots on them, then you want to make sure that you are giving them Kickstart. Now, I just talked about Kickstart in an earlier question, so I'm not going to rehash all of that, but the fact is, Kickstart is really, really good at root development, strengthening the root system, which allows that plant to take in more nutrition. So if you're planting new trees and shrubs, or you've got some flowers that you're going to be putting in your garden, or obviously seedlings for your vegetable garden, Kickstart is a great, great product to use. So again, if you're a mom and you're getting flowers this Mother's Day, or perhaps you are giving flowers this Mother's Day, if those plants have roots, those plants definitely need Kickstart. Folks, it's May, which means that grubs are going to start making an appearance. And even though it's early in their life cycle stage, obviously, if you have had a problem with grubs in the past, now is a really good time to put down BioAdvanced 24-hour grub killer. This is a very popular product, not only killing grubs when you have them, but also it will help prevent them from becoming a problem. So head over to Rosen's Online and pick up some BioAdvanced 24-hour grub control. The month of May is a great time to put it down, and we definitely recommend that you do. Folks, as always, it's May, and so we need to make sure that we're feeding our lawn. So if you haven't done the March or April feeding of Turf Trust, you need to head over to Rosen's Online and definitely pick up a couple of bags. Again, if you missed that time, it's okay. You can go ahead and put it down now, and we'll actually work with you and help you to adjust your feeding schedule moving forward through the rest of the year. Head over to rosensonline.com. It's a great time to feed your lawn if you haven't already done so. If you have already fed your lawn, then just make sure that you're planning ahead for that, mid-June feeding that's going to be here before you know it. Folks, if you have questions, make sure that you send your emails directly to me. Send it to tim@rosensonline.com. Now, based on the volume of emails that I'm getting from you, none of you seem to have an issue with figuring out how to send the information over to us, and we really do appreciate it because it does allow us to create these weekly video podcasts. So again, send those emails directly to me, tim@rosensonline.com. For all you mothers out there, I hope that you have an amazing Mother's Day weekend this coming Sunday. For the rest of you, I hope that you have an amazing weekend as well. God bless.